So real quick, just want to let you know I have a special guest that I'm going to be having on today. This gentleman wanted to come on and talk about this. It's something that's very near and dear to his heart. Let's go ahead and bring him in. Yo, can you hear me, bro?
Hey, what's up, Clark?
What's up, Tommy? How you doing, dog?
I'm doing great. Oh my gosh, I am listening to myself on stream. That's so weird. Thank you for giving me a platform, because I feel like so many people kind of like didn't get the context of my tweet, and I feel like I'm a fast guy. Like I get told a lot that I speak too fast sometimes, or maybe I make too many videos, or I rush stuff out. My goal this year is to interact more with the community and really kind of like talk about my ideas and all this type of stuff. And I feel like I've always been the type of person that is talking to people in the background, but never publicly. And so I wanted to try to communicate my ideas a little bit better, but sometimes I feel like you'll be taking a poop or something like that, and you tweet out your thoughts, not thinking like, oh, like, maybe someone could interpret it a different way. We're all human here, guys. Let's be real.
Here's the deal, bro. First, let me say this real quick. First of all, thank you for coming on. I appreciate you being on. This is cool to have you on. Long overdue, by the way. About god dang time, dude. Holy crap.
I'm sad that this is what has caused the podcast to happen for the first time, because we've been planning this for a while.
Yeah.
But I had to come on and say the piece, because 180 characters is not enough to try to communicate your thoughts.
Right. And that's the thing. I wanted to give you your voice to be able to talk about what you truly meant. I just gave, you probably heard it on stream, I gave my whole rundown of what I thought you meant. I also saw, I don't know if you saw Clin's video. He put out a video earlier today, which is really what I didn't even know about this until I saw his video. But he covered a lot of your comments back to people. And I'll be honest, my first reaction to it was the same as everybody else's. I was like, dude, there's no way in hell this is making any like, bro.
That's how everyone was. But if you look deeper into it, and I didn't communicate my, like I said, and it's the whole 180 characters is like I could barely fit everything in that one tweet. So I retyped that tweet like 3 different times trying to get it all to fit. And I was like, you know what? I think people will take it at face value. But where I fell short though is that I feel like I took this perspective from the creator and not the consumer. And so kind of let me expand on it and
go ahead.
All right. So basically the tweet goes, Fortnite Creative 2.0 drops tomorrow. And I think that creators need to get paid based off of session time, and that creators should be able to charge to play maps. Do I think every map should be paid for? No. And I don't think that's going to be the case. In fact, if you look at the replies, I'm like, I think 99.9% of maps are not going to be paid, right? And the reason for that is that most maps are going to be very replicable, in the sense that, let's say, for example, someone has a bad experience on one map. What's stopping somebody else from creating such a similar experience but removing those negative things, right?
That's the problem that we have right now with creative, yeah.
The market normally controls things, and the way that the market works is that the best product always wins. That's the mind of a creator, right? And so one big shortfall of Fortnite Creative 1.0 is what I'm going to call it now, is that it's very hard to invest a lot of time, effort, or money into a project, because it's a very unfair and hard to discover system where some maps get buried under some other ones that just have better artwork and all these different types of things. But bottom line though, if you go to any sort of these creator maps, you are going to get spammed with these annoying buttons, and they're always trying to convince you to do this, to press the button, hey, use my creator code. Even going further with scam maps of, hey, click this button for free XP. And the point of this tweet was just to say that from a creator perspective, right, I have employees. Top5Gaming has legitimate employees, and I hate referring them to as employees, because I consider them team members. And to this day, I will ride and die that. I think that the concept, I wanted to be a YouTuber, not to join the matrix of the corporate world and all that type of stuff. I wanted to just do what I want, right? And so my point being is that at the end of the day, you have to treat it like a legitimate business. I need to put food on people's mouths, right? And so a lot of times you have to make business decisions in order to monetize your property, so these people can work their jobs and stuff like that. And the system that's in Creative 2.1, Creative 1.0 right now is wildly inefficient, because the only way that there's 2 ways that people can make money through Creative right now. The first is the support a creator button, where they spam it in front of you, they hope that you press it, and then they hope right after that you go to the item shop and they get to collect their 5%, right? And it's a very dishonest system. And I will stand by that 100%.
When you say dishonest, what do you mean by that?
In the sense that it's like, the way that YouTube works, right, is that you get paid the longer that people watch your videos, right? And it's like literally significantly how 90% of creators get paid. Now, other people, they have their own brands and all this other stuff. But bottom line, though, the way that YouTube system works, a creator ecosystem works, is that the longer that people are staying on your real estate, the more money that you get paid. So the only way to get people to stay on your stuff the longest is to create the absolute best product. And so my point was, I don't think that there should be buttons on and people get commission on skin sales. And that's not to say I think the feature should be removed. I just don't think that it should be a prop in a map. I think that you should be able to just hit escape and boom, there it is, no matter what, right? But bottom line, my tweet was just basically saying that I think that Epic Games should be paying these creative teams and these developers based off of session time. If people are playing your game longer, you deserve to make more money because you're creating the better product.
Right.
And basically what this says to the entire ecosystem of developers and creators and all these different types of things is, look, you want to make more money, and that's obviously what these companies are using as incentivization. If you want to have more players, to be more successful, to make more money, you need to be making a better experience for players, and that's how you should get paid. Right? So instead of trying to trick people into hitting the supporter creator button, I just genuinely think that the most fun maps and most fun game modes, they should get paid. And Epic Games, I'm sure, has designed some sort of scale or balance system where that can work. Now, counterpoints. Oh, well, what happens if people create fake loading screens, or they do, time wasters, or literally anything like that? I think that there's a certain claim or entitlement that a lot of people have to people's attention. It's kind of like, dude, let people do their thing. If they're being tricked, though, that's an entirely different thing. And I think that Epic Games really need to figure out their TOS in terms of making sure that, manipulators and abusers and people that are doing this for the wrong purposes are not being, thrown up on Discovery or being paid out. It's not like people, the moment that someone plays and gives you 10 minutes, oh, there goes the bank account deposit. There are filters to this stuff. You have to get a certain social following. You have to apply for it. They have to review what you've posted and everything that you've done to get to that point and do these types of things. And I think with the right checks and balances, this is the optimal one route of monetization for creative maps. Let's get to the controversial part.
Okay, go ahead. Don't let me stop you. Keep going.
Okay. Creators should be able to ask for money in order to play a map. Everyone, can you imagine if people were charging $5 to play Red vs. Blue or Zone Wars or anything? That'd be ridiculous. And I'm in no way suggesting that the maps that you play every day or all of the new maps should be gated behind a paywall. That's not what I'm saying at all. In fact, I think that all of these things will be free because, like I said, they're so easily replicable that someone else will just make the better product, So I don't think that these maps that we're playing all the time, any of them are going to be locked behind a paywall. But instead, I have this long-term vision for Fortnite, and with a little bit of context, try to step into my shoes for a second and listen to some of the experiences that I've had, because I think that you'll kind of sympathize with the situation a little bit more. So I think that in the next 5 years, making an event like Fracture is going to be something that an 11-year-old could do. And no hate to Fracture or anything like that, but I think that the whole point of Creative 2.0, of UEFN, is to take Unreal Engine, which are stuff that you learn, it's a program you learn in college. These are advanced tools, very difficult to understand, right? I think that the whole point of UEFN Creative 2.0 is to simplify it so an 11-year-old can make it, right? And I think you are going to see small team-led live events, experiences, and all of these different things that are going to take hundreds of hours to make, thousands if not, right? What Fortnite is trying to do is to have a foundation that anyone could build on, and so long as they're following within the system and TOS of everything, there is a world where these experiences could be so valuable to consumers that it is worth paying $1 for. And I'll take systems that already exist right now that are already successful, because a lot of these people who are no way this works, this will never be successful, why would anyone do this? These systems already exist. Right. This isn't something that I magically spawned out of nowhere. This is straight from Roblox. And while Minecraft Marketplace is not the best example to use. It's still already a thing in Minecraft, right? I see a world where there will be really unique creative experiences. And I'll give one example. Let me pitch you one example before you're like, this is not the right idea, okay? I think in the next 3 years, let's take a really influential person like Billie Eilish, right? They're going to approach a big creative dev team like Atlas, right? They did the whole Mr. Beast tournament. And they're going to say, hey, I want to put on a Metaverse concert, very similar to what, Travis Scott and Ariana Grande and Kid Laroi. I want to put on my own Metaverse concert, but I'm going to actually be my Fortnite character on stage. And and you really need to visualize the potential of this, because I think where things are getting misconstrued is looking at creative today and being like, I'm not paying for any of this, right?
Yeah.
And then also looking at, where things could be in 5 years, right? So where things could be in 5 years is that this virtual performer could be, could host their own Metaverse concert. They could have a meet and greet. They could have all these people perform live, be interacting with the crowd, all of these different things, and be able to, like I said, like people pay $50 to $100, sometimes $1,000 to go to these IRL concerts.
Dude, did you hear about the Chris Brown concert? How much Chris Brown was charging for backstage
Chris Brown,
tickets?
Taylor Swift. I could bring up so many different instances. And you know why? Because there's supply and demand. And another thing is there's limited supply. There's only a certain amount of seats and all these things. When you think about it like that, it's not very inclusive. There's people with disabilities, hearing problems, vision problems. They could be paralyzed. It's not very inclusive for a lot of people. And I think that Metaverse concerts are going to be a big thing in the future for creators and artists and all these different types of things to interact with their fans and to put on performances, right? Like imagine if like Billie Eilish was just at her setup doing her concert, right? Produced by Atlas. And they're like, hey, it's $5 to come check out the concert, and it's an extra 10 if you want to in Fortnite go to an exclusive room where it's one-on-one you and Billie Eilish. She feels safe because she's not like in a room with people she doesn't know, right? She doesn't need security guards, all these things, because she is safe, and she's able to do this anywhere on the road, right? So it's just convenience. It is for accessibility. It is overall, but here's the problem. So you're like, why? Well, okay, like, well, does she need to charge money to do that, right? Or like, won't she make money from just people in the session time and stuff like that? If this concert is like 1 hour long and everyone is based on like, and the whole monetization system is based upon it's based upon playtime, 1 hour isn't that long, right? And so this whole experience feels wobbly because from a business perspective, they're like, well, maybe we'll just do a pre-recording of the concert and we'll just put it on repeat for a couple days. But nothing is more special than that limited, I have 1 hour, I'm going to talk to this person, all these things. I just think that the metaverse has so much potential, and I hate sounding like Mark Zuckerberg when I say that, but I mean it though. I do mean it.
So real quick, hang on, real quick, not to cut you off, but I want to interject something here. So when I'm hearing you talk, you're looking at the really big picture. You're looking at future technologies, integrating those into Creative 2.0. Right.
10,000 people in one server. Yeah.
And then basically, in essence, having a live stream within Fortnite and like musicians, artists.
A live show, not a stream. Like it's like, it is a live show. This is like Billie will be at her setup,
right,
or in her tour bus on the way. Hey, yeah, let's hit another show. Let's hit an after show for all the people at my concert. If you bought tickets to my real concert, guess what? You get tickets to my Metaverse concert where I do the meet and greet. And so she could be on the road doing all different types of things. And this is one instance, right? Like what I'm saying is, I don't think these casual game modes we all play day to day should be the ones locked behind paywalls.
Right.
But I do think that long term there could be paid experiences that make it worth it for the artist. I'm sorry, but Billie Eilish isn't gonna go do a free concert for her fans if there's no incentive for her, right? If that was the case, she'd be doing free IRL concerts. You know what I mean?
Right.
So there's a certain level of just, you could be naive and be like, well, why do you gotta charge for it? Why don't you just do it for free?
Right, but this is the real world we're talking about.
This is the real world.
People are gonna want to monetize their talent, which makes sense.
Exactly, because if she's doing this, she might not be doing something else that, you know, her management is telling her to do or anything. Metaverse concert is like one example. I think, you know, and I have a unique experience with this. Most people don't know this, but my brother, he works very high up for Mr. Beast. A lot of people don't know that. He's been doing their thumbnails for a really long time. He works on all their channels. And so I got a very unique perspective of how he was looking at Fortnite Creative, because they also do a lot of stuff in GTA. They do a lot of stuff in Minecraft. So he's really been kind of doing all these different sandbox games. And we had a really good conversation yesterday about Unreal Engine, right? And I was like, can you imagine a world where, you know, Mr. Beast does a tournament video live, and you could pay $1 to sit in the stadium, and maybe you get a chance to participate or whatever. There was a counterpoint, oh, well, Mr. Beast doesn't do it like that. He's going to do it for free. I think long term, though, like there still could be challenge, like a lot of, like, I don't know, maybe participating in a challenge and having to pay money to enter the challenge, it's not the most ethical thing, right? But I do think long term, though, there will be kind of like a pay to enter type thing that gets you certain perks, or maybe you could participate in something or some type of event that's actually worth it for that person, right?
Let me throw another idea in there real quick, because while you were talking, I thought of something else. What if, too, right? We already have Fortnite Crew, which is a subscription service. What if they had a similar subscription service or an add-on to Fortnite Crew, to where you could basically have unlimited pay-to-play maps? You have access to all pay-to-play maps if you pay a subscription fee every month, and then those creators, you get a kickback from that fund, right? I think doing something like that on top of also letting the map builders monetize. Here's the deal. We want Fortnite as a business. We want Fortnite or Epic to make money so the game stays alive. And I watched your interview that you did with Squatting Dog. You and I are on a similar page, I believe, when it comes to the BR. The BR may not be here, or may not be the thing that it is now in the next 2 to 5 years. BR as a genre is kind of dying in some ways. It's not dead, but with Creative 2.0, in a lot of ways, from what I'm seeing, there's not really a whole lot of reason potentially to even play BR. People are going to be able to make their own islands, but I'm just thinking from a business standpoint, something like that, some kind of subscription service for pay-to-play maps would probably make it more worthwhile for a lot of people. What do you think about something like that, something along those lines? Do you think something like that would work with Fortnite?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of just builds off the original idea. Like,
Right.
for example, like, you know, like the system that I was saying, like, yo, like you could charge however many, you know, and I think it should all be in V-Bucks, right? So I think like the system, you know, whether it is, you know, a subscription and that's your option, or maybe it's a one-off, hey, I'm charging 100 V-Bucks. You know, I'll like for me, for example, I always have like 200 or 300 V-Bucks in my account at all times, because I'll buy every skin. I have that leftover change. And, you know, maybe that's the way that you could enter these premium experiences, right? Or maybe there's a subscription thing and you get 10 tokens and you get to enter 10 creative maps and you could refill them for more if you want, or anything like that.
Right.
I don't have the answer on how to execute it perfectly. I mean, maybe if I sat down for literally a month straight and had a bunch of people on the supporter creator, you know, council or whatever, however they make their decisions, you know, there could be a really fine-tuned system that's fleshed out that feels fair and equitable to all players, where it doesn't impact their experience negatively, but it gives these teams the opportunity to earn money if these fans are willing to do it, and they get that experience, right? And there's so many different checks and balances that could be applied here. Like, for example, you know, every paid experience, you know, at first we roll it out to very, you know, trusted creative dev teams. And I know a lot of people are like, well, what about the smaller devs? Well, smaller devs are known to abuse it, you know? Like, that is point blank, that is it. I think at first it should be rolled out. You should earn that trust, you should earn that consistency, then you could do it. Because there's too many scams that happen. And if, you know, if you're more upset about other people getting access to it first rather than straight up like protecting the player base, we don't see eye to eye on that, you know?
Right.
And I sympathize with these smaller creators and stuff like that. I really do. And I'm rooting for you to get there. But like I said, though, I think at the utmost priority, it really should just be safety of players, right?
Right.
But long term, though, I do think that there could be systems and ways to roll it out that aren't deceptive, is what I'm trying to say. So, for example, if you have a paid experience, you're required to have a trailer. And Epic could have either AI, or they could have one of many reviewers review this trailer and then review the experience, like, okay, this is deemed like accurate, right? That way there's not, pay $10 to get 100,000 XP. Like that won't even get in the system.
Right.
And it's so easy for Epic to just restrict bad actors that it really doesn't take like that long for them to be like, okay, this is deceptive. It's been reported by 100 people. Let's go take a look at it. And if it's deceptive, this person will never make another Fortnite creator map,
right.
And there's huge barriers to kind of get over that, because it's not like you could just go change your bank,
Yeah. I guess the apprehension that a lot of people have is because it's how creative has been working the last 6 months. I really feel like Fortnite has kind of tarnished its brand to a small degree when it comes to creative, because of all the crazy stuff that people have been seeing in the recommended in the browse section. And I think it's kind of burned a lot of people. Like, a lot of people were really frustrated. Like on Twitter, I remember around Christmas time, people were just going crazy, just posting all day about the wild stuff that they were seeing. And a lot of what I've heard from people I know who are map builders, who do who are in the community, what happens is a lot of these map builders, they'll have a normal baseline map that they'll create initially, and then after it gets approved, they'll go in and edit it and make changes to it, and then start adding a bunch of the weird stuff. They'll change the thumbnail up after it's already been approved for Epic's picks. And that was kind of I think that's kind of a lot of people's apprehension when, they're seeing, whoa, creators should be able to charge to play maps. Because when you look at it from a broader perspective, I see exactly what you're saying. Especially from a business, like, you got to think about it from a business standpoint first and foremost, and then you also think about how does it benefit the community. I think when you have people that can monetize their maps, it makes people want to put in more effort into something. They want to make it worthwhile for your buck.
Or hire smarter people to assist them in doing that.
Yes, exactly. And I think the other thing is too, like, we really don't know the true power of what UEFN is gonna be like for Fortnite. Like, people are still kind of naive to how powerful that engine's really gonna be and what it's gonna be able to do. But like, if what was it? Is it Atomic that made the OG map? Is it or Atlas? Sorry.
I mean, let's be real. Who didn't make the OG map?
Right. But Atlas, they're like, if they recreated that map from scratch using UEFN, that's insane. Like, the stuff that we're going to be able to do. I mean, imagine if, like, people have already talked about it, but like, think about people being able to make their own custom Fortnite islands, and having their own seasons on the islands and their own storylines and stuff that they can do. And like, the sky's the freaking limit with this. But anyway, didn't mean to cut you off. Please continue.
Yeah,
this is interesting.
No, I mean, you said it exactly perfect. I think the market will control and balance things as best as they possibly can. And with rules and oversight from Epic and just systems that you follow, I just genuinely think that the most fun and playable maps will thrive the most. And there's going to be options to where creators can, extra, like, imagine, like, if you want to book, like, imagine like Atlas was like, we want to book Billie Eilish for a Metaverse concert, right? How much does she want? She's going to go there and be like, I want 250K. Right. And I'm not exaggerating that number, right? So, like, imagine, okay, well, you want this amount of money. Well, we have to figure out how to get that and more to pay all the devs that are working on this. How can you do something as ambitious of a project as that, right? That's where the monetization comes in, right? And I think that, Billie Eilish fans be like, wow, like, that's great for me. It's perfect. Maybe the casual Fortnite player, that sucks, dude. I hate Billie Eilish. Right. And I just think that there's that middle ground of, why not just give consumers more options? Like, let's just give you the choice. Like, if Billie Eilish has a concert, it's $5 to get into, and you're bored, screw it, I'll go play. Or you're like, hate Billie Eilish, don't go. Now you have the option to do that. It's so cool.
The other thing I like to point out too is, like, remember back in the day, I don't know how long you've been playing the game exactly, but I remember back in Chapter 1, the early days of Chapter 1, everybody's like, dude, I'm never going to pay for a skin. Like, paying for skins from a free game is stupid. Now look at us, okay? A lot of us got, like, locker bundles with 400 or 500 plus skins, okay? The people will, over time, this is the thing, a culture has to be developed for pay-to-play maps, and that hasn't been done yet and hasn't been established because creative has been in such a weird, weak infancy kind of state. But this is taking everything to the next level. Outside of the real big bombastic stuff, sounds like you're a real big Billie Eilish fan. But outside of, like, the really big concerts, what are some maps that you would want to see creators make that would, what do you think would be like worth someone's money to, you know, to pay for in creative?
I had a really good idea and a good talking point for like what someone should, not what they should pay for, but I have a really cool idea of what I want to do in Creative 2.0, and I'll pitch it, but I want to hit you with like another paid experience, right?
Okay.
Like what's another thing that people could pay for? I think that you should be able to spend V-Bucks and go watch a movie with your friends. Like the OGs will remember this, but if you ever went to the Netflix app on Xbox 360, you go to a movie theater with your friends and watch it real time. And like literally just last year, they released that feature where you could, you know, like I think you could, like you have like watch together on YouTube, where you can like literally like put in a YouTube video and you can press play, and then if someone else is controlling it, they could pause it, they could do whatever. So let's say you got to go to the bathroom, like if you pause and they keep playing, syncing it back up is a nightmare, right? So I think that there's going to be all different types of, you know, things that we do every day in real life will now be an optional thing that you could go do in the metaverse. And like I said, not trying to Zuckerberg my way here to get people to hate me, but I don't see why you can't go watch a movie in a Fortnite creator movie theater, or in like this really sick place, and you pay the same amount of money that you would at a movie theater, right? I don't see why, you know, what's another experience of consuming like digital content or literally anything in real life, you know, football games, right?
Yes.
Like instead of like go watch, you know, sports, go meet up with your friends, all these different experiences that you're a spectator in real life to, they could just do the same thing in the metaverse. And it's, you know, why buy it $10 on Hulu and invite all your friends over when you could just buy it $10 in Fortnite and consume it all together? You're spending the same amount of money, but now you're just doing it in Fortnite to get to hang out with your homies.
So you're wanting, so let me make sure I'm understanding you correctly, but it sounds like you're wanting Fortnite to be a more than just the video game. You want it to expand into other arenas. I
don't want it to expand. Everyone wants it to expand. Like right now, it's between Fortnite, Roblox, and Minecraft to create the ultimate sandbox game where people have a digital experience that they could, you know, walk around and socialize, do all these different things. And no matter what I say or do or recommend, that's the future. That's what every game wants. Like Fortnite isn't like Fortnite Battle Royale was really, really popular, right? But Fortnite Sandbox, it could be a billion games in one. And that's what Roblox is doing. And like that's what people don't understand. Like, for example, there's a game on Roblox. I tweeted about this, talked about it on Unvaulted, so I don't know if you're aware of it or not, but there is literally a Roblox game that looks and feels like the graphics, the guns, everything. It looks exactly like COD.
Can you send me that clip and I can pull it up on stream? Do you have it?
Yeah, I do. Enter the Goat says, bro, Basic said, I want money. This is like the most ironic part of everything. I have never done anything in creative. I've never released anything. I've never made $1 off of it. I haven't. I really don't. So what's funny about it is that I'm not rooting for myself. I'm just trying to get it so other creators have the right incentivization. And right now, every Fortnite developer team, like the way that they're making money is by creating map experiences and oh, please, you know, buy some Fortnite skins by using my creator code spam. And then they're like, hey guys, we have this insane experience with Axe body spray.
Dude,
and it's like,
there's no way this is Roblox. Holy crap. Are you serious?
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, it's building a game on top of a game. Fortnite is a base layer. Unreal Engine is a base layer. Right?
Yeah. So
getting back to my point, though.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'll get there. The point that I wanted to make there was that the incentivization systems for creators are just pretty horrendous at the moment. And so I hate microtransactions. I play video games every single day, so I hate microtransactions as much as the next guy. But in a game like Fortnite, I really don't hate the cosmetics as much because they're optional. You buy what you want and you don't buy what you don't want. It's just choices. You're not forced to do anything. It's not going to ruin anyone's experience. And that was like the point that I was trying to make this entire time, is that it's all optional. It's all these different types of things. And if it makes sense for the consumer, great. They get to do what they want with their money. And if it doesn't, then it doesn't, you know? What
impact do you think Creative 2.0 is going to have on Fortnite moving forward? Where do you think what it's going to look like 2 years from now if this runs smoothly?
I think that Battle Royale will be one of the most popular of many game modes that you'll be playing on Fortnite. I think Roblox is the best example of a company that has built so many games on top of its platform that each game kind of has its own community and all these different types of things, right? And in those games, there is, incentivization systems like, getting your own unique skin or getting a special role in Discord or all these different types of things. These are very, very like, in 2023, that's all we could comprehend. But in 5 years from now or 3 years from now, there's going to be all new platform systems and models that make significantly more sense at the time, but we just can't comprehend it right now, right? And I think all of these different games will have their own communities and they'll talk about it, and there will be the staple games that we've been playing for years, like Battle Royale or Zone Wars or Team Deathmatch or anything like that.
Yeah.
But there will be all types of other games, whether, like I said, it could be, you could go from a farming simulator to a Skate 3 to all these different types of things because Fortnite is building out the mechanics to make that possible.
So yesterday I made a statement saying that I think that it's possible BR, like the main BR, won't have any use. There won't really be much utility for it because we'll be able to make our own BRs. There will be so many different versions that people can play. I feel like it's going to take away from the main player base of Fortnite's core game. What do you think about that? Do you think I'm a little off on that, or do you think that there'll still be that that Fortnite might move away from BR entirely outside of what's being created in Creative 2.0?
I think that Minecraft opening massive mega servers and Spleef or whatever it's called, or Bed Wars or any of these types of things. Like, you're asking the same question, like, would these different modes take away from people just playing Minecraft survival? We already know the answer to that. It's more options for people to choose what they have the most fun doing, right? Like, I think at my core, all I'm advocating for is for people to have the choice to do the thing that they find the most fun, right? And I'm also advocating for creator teams to be able to sustainably generate revenue to reinvest in their projects.
Right.
Like if Mr. Beast didn't get AdSense revenue from YouTube, right? Or he couldn't sell Mr. Beast burgers, or he couldn't sell his chocolate bars, or he couldn't do any of these different ways to monetize his stuff. He would have significantly less employees doing significantly less ambitious projects, doing like I said, it just wouldn't be where he is today, doing all these crazy things. And the reason that he did that is because he took all of the money that he got and he reinvested it to make better projects, and people continued to constantly enjoy, and they kept enjoying these experiences over and over again. And if you go watch that Colin and Samir video about the day in the life with Mr. Beast, like 10,000 people pulled up to the Mr. Beast burger launch because they wanted to experience that with them, and they had no problem paying $10 because they got a photo with him and they got to meet him and tell him how much he meant to them. And what he did was he takes this money and then he reinvests it into bigger projects, hiring more people, doing more ambitious ideas. And that's like the Silicon Valley method of gaining wealth. Like, that's what all of these companies do, is that they never really make any profit for the first couple of years. They're always like, we reinvest everything, get bigger at scale. We can do cooler stuff for people. Don't make any profit from that. Reinvest it, bigger at scale. And that's where you get those breaking the wheel or reinventing the wheel moments. That's what really pushes it, is when creators are incentivized to create the most fun and playable experiences, right? And it's all up to the consumer to decide where their attention should be, and like that's all I'm advocating. I just think that people should be able to choose whatever they want to do and have the most fun.
I'm looking at some of the comments in chat. People are coming in a little bit late. I see Retro over here. He's saying Fortnite isn't YouTube though. It's entirely different, and especially comparing it to Mr. Beast. I don't, Retro, in Tommy's defense, I don't think he's really trying to necessarily make a one-for-one comparison between monetizing creative and how YouTube is monetized per se. However, the point is that the market will dictate what things people are willing to pay for, and giving content creators the option to be able to monetize their maps is a W, because it's an additional revenue stream. As content creators, we know the importance of having multiple revenue streams. And if I can have a revenue stream, honestly, the way more I'm thinking about, like, if I can have a revenue stream through a creator code, people playing on my maps, so for playtime, and then on top of that, I can potentially make a really badass map that I can monetize as well. That's worth people paying a small percentage for, to support me as a creator. I don't really see a downside to that for me or for the people that are involved. If it's not worth it, then people won't play for it. And I think that's the thing that people have to understand. Remember, I also like to point out again, a lot of people in this chat were probably people that said, I will never pay for a skin in a free game, and here you are with 150 skins plus in your locker. Things change, things evolve over time. Fortnite cannot stay the same if it wants to succeed. One thing that you pointed out, Tommy, in the Squatting Dog podcast, which I thought was very profound, was that Fortnite is getting, and I didn't know this, but Fortnite was getting obliterated by Minecraft and Roblox at the moment. Mm-hmm. That kind of took me back, because I thought that Fortnite was kind of top dog. I knew that Minecraft had taken its throne back, but Fortnite had it for a while. Fortnite was the world's most popular game for a long time. With what you know about Creative 2.0, do you think Fortnite is leveraging themselves in a proper way to take the throne back as the world's most popular game and beat out Roblox and Minecraft?
I think tomorrow we'll find out. I'm going to be real. I don't have a ton of experience in Creative 2.0. So a lot of these things I don't know. I'm just speaking in terms of like a long-term vision and faith that I think Epic are really smart and that they'll figure these things out. And Restro, I want to counter your point. You say, I think monetizing maps is fine, like having things you could buy in the map, like Roblox, fantastic idea, but making people pay to go play a map is dumb, right? And I'm sure that you just joined the stream, so you didn't hear my points earlier about that. I talked about possibly, let's say, for example, like Sony or any sort of like major movie company was like, hey, we're gonna, create a Fortnite map that's a movie theater, and you and your friends could go enjoy watching a movie together. And instead of paying $10 in real life to go to the movies, you could pay $10 with your friends or something like that, right? That's one example of where it does make sense for a viewer or a consumer to go pay to play a map, because you would go pay to play the map IRL. Same thing is sports. You would have to go pay to watch a UFC fight or a basketball game or football, depending on what game it is, obviously, or whatever. But fundamentally, though, that's how that works, right? And so if you could just get another option to do it in Fortnite, I don't really see how that's dumb. It's much more inclusive for people with disabilities. It is much more inclusive for people who live halfway across the world. It is much more convenient for the creator or artist or player who, is maybe traveling all the time. Like, I think the system of all these artists going from city to city to city is so exhausting that when it comes down to like fan meetups, like they have to do it after the show, they're on the next day. If they could just do a fan meetup on a tour bus or something like that, like I said, it's way more inclusive, way more people get a better experience. If they're willing to pay for that, great. And if they don't want to, they don't have to, right? And I think maybe it's just the perspective of, you go on Creative right now, Creative 1.0, that's what we're calling it. I agree. Any of the current maps, if any of them even charged $1, I'd be like, no one's gonna play that. I agree. And I sympathize, and I totally understand your point of view currently. But I think long term, though, there is a bigger picture and more potential that has not been realized yet. Think about how we were using Fortnite Playground like 5 years ago, and tomorrow the game is going to change. It's not going to be the last change, though. It's going to be a couple years, and Creative 3.0 drops, and it will just be mind-blowing, because technology is evolving every day. And so if you don't understand something, doesn't mean you should absolutely dunk on it, because like I said, people are very protective with their money. Like, they're not going to go spend on something dumb and then end up doing it again, right? And now I talked about this with Clark, and I want to make sure that I'm very clear about this. If this gets implemented, it needs to be the right systems, checks and balances, all these things, because that's like the main thing that every single part, whenever I say this, they're all like, oh, well, people are gonna get scammed. And I'm like, no, Epic Games will figure it out. Like, they will figure it out. I promise, they will figure it out. And while they haven't gotten it figured out yet, there are systems that could be in place that I think are just better. Sorry, I'm reading chat. I can't multitask.
You're good, man. It's tough. The streaming life is rough, man. We got to read and talk.
Told to assume that UEFN will ever be anything more than just a more accessible and slightly more customizable version of Creative. I just think that's pessimistic. I'm such an optimist. Like, I really think that...
Let me interject real quick on that as well, though. We already know that UEFN is far more... This is way more advanced than just some simple little Fortnite creative mechanics. There's already been leaked footage of... What is it? I think it was someone from Atlas. I forget. Shadow was telling me about it earlier today. But anyway, one of the guys on Atlas was showing some of this footage of how he developed the terrain for the OG island. The customization tools that you have in that software are let me put it this way. There's a reason why you don't have that software on console and you have it only on PC right now. It's very in-depth. There's things that you can do on that. It's not just a matter of having a bunch of XP accolades and devices that you have basic deductive logic trees that you go through, and you have this thing activates this thing activates this thing like we're used to. That's not how it works. There's code that you can put in there. People can put their own custom NPCs. I'm pretty sure you could even have custom dialogue or voice lines added in. There's probably a way to do that. There's
and videos, yeah.
There's tons of stuff you can do. Like my Terminator map that I have, if I were to redo it in this, I would have actual Terminators walking around the map with guns from the movie, the laser weapons, with the sound effects, the different variable weather effects, fog, snow, rain. Make it a survival horror extraction game. You can do that kind of stuff in this. This is not the way creative has always been. This is after tonight, and Tommy's been basically alluding to this too. After tonight, Fortnite is not going to be the same anymore. This is going to change a lot, and we have to wait and see.
I think at first, sorry to interrupt you. I think at first it won't be a crazy difference.
Right.
Like I don't think that I really think that like these like chapter 1 maps, like this is the most basic day 1 launches. Like long term 6 months, it is going to be crazy what people are able to do when these assets are available to everyone. When people get 3 to 6 months under their belt and they come up with an idea, and it's like I said, these tools are so easy to use. An 11-year-old could use them. Anyone will be able to create these insane creations that are just so fun to play. Roaster has some counterpoints. He says something like that would be interesting. We're talking about the movies. He goes, it would also be detrimental for theaters. I think that's a pretty like poor point, like detrimental for theaters. Like I think the consumer having the best experience. That's how technology works. You could be like, the invention of fast food is detrimental for diners. It's like, well, you let people go where they want. Like, why are you, It's like if movie theaters, if they don't survive, if they don't adapt and survive, that's how economics and the real world works. If someone else creates a better product, and I'm not saying that everyone's going to abandon movie theaters, but it's just more options, like I said, for people with disabilities, etc.
My bad. Didn't mean to cut you off this time, but let me. I want to give a bit of pushback to what you're saying, because I agree, right? Because in essence, what you're saying is it's the market that dictates what's going to be available, right? But there is a caveat. The issue is, and this is a bit deeper of a conversation, but I think the real issue is, and why it's so off-putting to a lot of people, because technology is always new technology is always scary, first of all, in general. But I think the issue is when you start replacing real-world experience for virtual experience, that's where things start getting a little scary. Now, from a business standpoint, dude, I get from capitalism, business. Totally get it. Makes complete sense. Why not turn Fortnite into part Netflix, right? Like I understand that. Why not have live concerts? But I will tell you this right now. I've watched a lot of Chris Brown concerts on YouTube. Okay, I've learned a lot of dance moves from watching Breezy. But going to a Chris Brown concert, I've been to 2. There is no experience when you're in a room full of 10, 20,000 other Breezy fans and y'all are in there cheering and you're, oh my God, bro. All right, anyway, all I'm saying is there's something to be said for real world experience. And I think that's the caveat, is that like, okay, the more that in depth that we get with this technology, what are we sacrificing as a result? Because life is about trade-offs. There's gonna be a trade-off to everything. But if we're solely looking at this from a business standpoint, for the betterment of Fortnite as a game, for Epic to continue this game along and for it to evolve and be competitive, it all makes complete sense. I didn't mean to get super deep, but that was
deep, bro. I'm like sitting here contemplating everything now.
that was like the underlying tone of like, I just gotta say this.
You made a great point though, that IRL experiences are significantly different to virtual, and these virtual experiences, like exactly like Clark's saying, like he'll go watch a Chris Brown concert on YouTube and he loves it, but then going to a Chris Brown concert IRL, completely different experience. But you still have that opportunity to check it out, maybe become his fan, get more ingrained in it. Maybe you can't go to a Chris Brown concert because of a variety of reasons. You live across the world, or, you know, like I said, you just can't go. You know, this is just another option. Will it replace everything? That's all based on if consumers find this to be the better experience or not. Maybe some movie theaters in areas will shut down. Maybe it doesn't affect it at all. Maybe, you know, and I think a lot, like, someone made a comment like movie theaters would never let like their launch movies be, you know, in these digital experiences.
That's not true.
Sure.
We already know that. Well, we already know that's not true because of all the streaming services that make brand new movie titles available. Right at your
exactly. That's what, and that was gonna be my point. Is that like you could go on Amazon Video right now and go buy something for like $10 that is not on Netflix, not on any of these streaming services. You still have to pay. You know,
HBO Max, whatever. We're in the that's the thing. We're in the era of streaming services, and like when you were starting to talk about the movie experience specifically, I'm like, this is a way to kind of make Fortnite its own streaming service. That's kind of interesting. But
yeah, I mean, I'm seeing some comments also about copyright. I think that, like I said, these are problems that are already solved. I mean, you know, the question, what is Fortnite going to do with copyright? Just replace Fortnite with Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, any platform in the world.
Fortnite would do the same thing with copyrights that they do
copyright
now.
Systems, you know? Yeah, exactly. And there's already laws written about this type of stuff, you know?
The other thing is, too, we're assuming that laws are going to stay the same. Like, the way the world is going, how everything's becoming more digital, there's no way that the laws are gonna like, let me put it this way. When mine and Tommy's generation gets to be about 60, 70 years old, even probably before then, it's going, like, the law, there's going to be a drastic change to the law because of how we grew up with technology. All the YouTubers that become politicians that had to deal with fair use and got their channels demonetized, they're gonna make sure they're making changes to change copyright law and how all that stuff works. Things are not gonna stay the same, guys. You have to understand, like, we're in a, not to get super deep again, but we're in a very pivotal day and age right now. There's a lot of huge changes being made to the world in front of you. Like, even with like the Chat GPT, that's another thing that kind of terrifies me to some degree. I think it's like low-key Skynet, but it's just like there's so much stuff that's coming out right now. Technology is evolving at an insane rate, and when it comes to our video games, the best video game companies are going to be the ones that stay ahead of these trends.
That was the whole point I was trying to make. I'm not saying that Creative 1.0 maps should be locked behind a paywall. Do I think all Creative 2.0 maps should be locked behind a paywall? No. I just think people should be given options. I think the best thing for Creative 2.0 is for very successful teams to be able to monetize their experiences, control their revenue streams, and bottom line, be incentivized that the best experience possible makes the most amount of money. So that's what everyone wants to do, is create the best experience possible. And more money might invest into more smart, talented, creative developers and that type of stuff. And there's going to be this explosion of an economy. And realistically, all of these, you know, talented people are going to come into this space and they're going to make some really cool stuff. And the only, like, the people that will benefit from the most are the creative team and the users. And that's it. Everyone walks away feeling happier. And realistically, if that system works the way that it's designed to, it will be a net positive for everybody, in my opinion. 5 years when technology is just so different. That's what I'm talking about. And that's where I messed up. I didn't clarify that enough in my tweet. If I was just scrolling through the timeline and I saw that tweet, I'd probably react the same way, being like, dude, no one's gonna pay $5 to go play Zone Wars. You know what I mean?
Oh, thank God Clark Kent was going live today so you could clarify it.
And thank you for giving me the platform, Clark. I really appreciate it. Seriously, a lot of people look at me, Family Guy, clickbait dude, but genuinely, I really just want the best for creators. I really want the best for consumers, and I hope that overall it's a net positive on everyone who wants to see Fortnite succeed and likes to play Fortnite, you know?
I agree, bro. And hey, look, don't sweat it too much over, you know, here's the deal, man. Anytime you post anything on the internet, people are going to take away the context. I'm still getting reamed right now over a video I made last Friday, put it out on TikTok. People are upset because of my opinions on the loot pool right now. They're thinking I should go jump off a bridge because I wish the Scar and the Thunder were still back in the game, but whatever. This you're not gonna make everybody happy. That's the burden that we bear as content creators. But I will say this is awesome that first of all, thank you for jumping on, man. This is fantastic. It's nice to actually be able to talk to you one-on-one. This was cool. I'd love to have you on again.
Of course.
For another pod, maybe talk about something a bit more lighthearted where you're not having to be on the back foot defending yourself. Talk about some storyline stuff, but this was cool, man. So yeah, let's hope that this is not our last collaboration. So this is cool. Anyway, I don't want to keep you all day, bro. This was awesome. This is cool.
Thank you for everyone who tuned in. At least let me, even if you don't agree with what I say, like I respect your feelings. I respect your position about it. Everyone has their own experiences that can kind of lead to their own conclusions. I appreciate you at least giving me the opportunity, literally just to hear me out. Like I said, we've all had different experiences in life. We've all had different perspectives, and that's really it. So I don't really think that there's a right or wrong in these types of discourses. I think that end of the day, discussion of ideas is a good thing, and I think that we should be able to all come on here and have a civilized chat about how we think we could make this thing that we all love better. We'll leave it at that.
Cool.
Thanks again for having me, Clark. Talk to you soon, brother.
Appreciate you, bro. Peace.
All right, bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, Top 5 Gaming. Can you believe it? Unbelievable! Scoop of the century. We got him, boys. Clip it and ship it. Clip it and ship it. Oh! Oh, man. Shout out to Tommy, man. Appreciate you, bro. God bless you, Tommy. That was awesome. That was so awesome.